Good evening, everyone. It's about 7:30. We just had a bunch of rainstorms outside. I just misted everybody's cages. Yeah, I kind of turn my cages off around a certain time every day. I actually turn my lights off right before sunset because I like to emulate natural sunsets for my animals. Because out in the wild, we all know, for when it comes to a lot of these guys, being from where they come from, they're used to watching the sun slowly going down through the day. And instead of going from having their lights on from just straight lighting and then straight to darkness, I don't know, I try to copy the more natural way of doing things with my animals. So I turn my lights off. Oops, I accidentally bumped the cage. But with my animals, I tend to wait like an hour. Since it's summertime, there's always about an hour of sunlight left before the sun goes down when I turn the lights off. Today it's kind of different, it's dreary out. We are having a lot of thunderstorms going on right now. I see my window. Like, there's still more storms coming, but normally by now the sun would still be bright out since, like I said, it's summertime. And then, of course, it will start slowly getting, like, dim in my room. And it's still raining out. But, as you said, like as I was saying, it will slowly start getting dimmer and dimmer. Because, like, the sun's in my room all day long. Like, it's constantly in my room. So, which is really a good effect for the animals. Because, I don't know, I don't criticize the way everyone else does it. Everybody takes care of their animals differently. I'm just a little different when it comes to taking care of my animals. I like to have natural sunrise and sunset for these guys. When I turn their lights on in the morning, the sun's coming up outside, or I wait until like the sun starts shining in through my window. Once the sun starts shining through my window, then I will go and turn the actual lights on and stuff. I wonder where Wednesday went. I was trying to catch Wednesday real quick. She was actually climbing up the side of her cage. I like to do a lot of my filming at night because a lot of my animals are nocturnal, and a lot of nocturnal species. And like I've said in prior videos from when I first started doing my reptile YouTube videos, I actually been trying to study a lot of these species at night, their behaviors at night, and how they interact. Sometimes I'm up throughout the night. That's why some of my films, I be videotaping 2, 3, 1 o'clock in the morning. Right now it's 7 o'clock. I haven't done, it's been a while since I actually done a film this early in the day. Like I said, normally my films are later on in the night, shall we say. So I'm actually kind of intrigued to see who's out right now. So Blue ran back. A lot of them, of course, are going to run off. It's still early in the day because that's what they like to do. Some of them are waking up and they're starting to come out and about, which is okay. We're about to do some feedings for some of these guys. There's Ming Ming. She's starting to wake up. She's been sleeping on that log throughout the day. Well, it's a branch log. Her cork bark log is right there, but she has another one underneath here. She's been pushing her plant down, and then she kind of made her own little canopy, which I think is kind of cute. But yeah, I've been studying a lot of these animals at night, and a lot of their behaviors at night are actually pretty fascinating. Considering it's hard to study these species out in the wild. Like, some of us don't get the chance to be lucky enough to travel to watch these guys in their natural habitats. And a lot of times I see a lot of YouTubers, you will see them film like their animals during the day. They'll take them out of their cages and show them off to everybody and play with them, which I think is really adorable. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of channels that do that. Like, I love Snake Discovery and Dave Kaufman and Wiccan's Reptiles and everybody. Like, I watch everybody. Brian Barczyk. I can go on and on with the list, you know. But not that many people actually do filming at night. Like, Dion and some of them do feedings at night sometimes, but we don't actually see anybody that will sit here and actually just film and study what their animals actually do all night long. That's what I like to do. That is one of my goals, is to see how these species interact and how they are through the night, which is really cool because some of these guys are pretty interesting at night, actually, especially the tarantulas. The tarantulas are funny. They be doing some crazy stuff. Same with the crested geckos. Meanwhile, the leopard geckos, they get themselves in trouble at night, actually. I actually had to put a lock on Ming Ming's cage. She actually found a way to get to actually slide, because her cage is one of those easy slide ones. Some of them are pretty smart. She actually climbs up on here, and she'll start pushing and slide this open. So, trust me, leopard geckos are, a lot of reptiles are very, very smart. So cute. Deneri lately, my first leopard gecko that I've had in this collection. I've had reptiles my whole life, but in the past couple years, she's one of the first ones I had. She's now been climbing up on here, and she's actually been pushing up on top of her cage because she knows that's where mommy opens the door to feed her. Leona's getting a drink. She actually has a lock on her cage too. But that doesn't stop it from, you know, I'm getting clamps for these cages. These guys have been so horrible lately. Like, really horrible with getting their water dishes so freaking dirty after I just cleaned them. But you know, it's not like it's a really too much of a big deal. Like, it's like people don't really actually have to fuss too much about it, because if you think about it, out in the wild, it's not like they're getting crisp clean water like 24/7. Now, I'm not gonna say just sit there and let your animal's water dish be dirty and stuff, but if you see a couple specks of dirt like that, that's not too bad. But it will eventually bug me because I have OCD, so I will eventually clean it. But with her drinking out of it right this second, it's okay, because I actually take their water and I just dump it on the plants. Easy way to wash the plants instead of having to water the plants. Leona! Dopa, dopa, dopa. She's funny. What happened? I touched you. Oh no. She does that when there's a cricket on her. That's why I touched her in her one spot. Because these crickets, sometimes they're so annoying. They bug her so badly. They actually, when they crawl along her back, she freaking hates it. Leona, what you doing, baby? She has to think about what I did. She's like, wait a minute. I don't think that was a cricket. I think that was a mom. So she has to think about it. She's funny. I won't bug her too much. Let's see, where's Daenerys' bad butt? She's already starting to climb on things in there. She's actually up on... Here, let's move this. She's actually up on her one hide. Stupid cricket. I didn't drop in the water dish, did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, she's up on her one hide. Come on, focus, camera. I hate this camera with a passion. There's Daenerys. She's up on her log. Every time I open it, she either thinks she's coming out or being fed. One of the two. Because that's one of the two things that happen. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. And I don't know what's up with it today. For some reason, it doesn't want to focus right today. But I try to make their cages like little jungles. That poor Patho plant. She keeps digging it up. I don't know what's up with these guys. And like, Rain keeps doing the same thing in her plant. At least her Patho plant's gotten bigger because I bought it as a whole Patho plant. I bought this as a little Patho plant, and look, it still only got 2 leaves on it because Daenerys, she keeps digging up her Pathos. So crazy. But this other plant's doing beautiful. I just watered all their cages. But they're all being upgraded. I got bigger cages coming for all of them. They're not babies no more, so I gotta upgrade all of them. A lot of their cages are right now 20 gallons, but I gotta change them all. I'm gonna get them all. They're all gonna go into like 120. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing 120. Let's see. Of course, summer's not out. A lot of times Viper pops out, but Viper's not out right now. Viper is one of my little spiderlings, which is the Trinidad Chiffon, which I actually have a surprise coming tomorrow, guys. Actually, I probably mentioned it already in a video. I actually have another spiderling coming. Unfortunately, my pumpkin patch spider did not make it. I just bought that too, and for some reason it shedded, but it got stuck in its shed. And I found Sunfire stuck in their shed yesterday, which was pretty upsetting because I've been trying forever to get a pumpkin patch spider, and as soon as I got one, it got stuck in its shed and it died. So I have another sling coming tomorrow. I actually gotta change the name on this pot now, again. So what did I order? I think it was another Trinidad Chiffon. That's right. I was gonna get another pink salmon bird ear, but I got 3 of them. So I was like, you know what? I really like the Chiffon, cause Viper, cause the Trinidad Chiffon I like because not only does it do good takedown videos, and it's a very good eater for me, but they're actually out more. Yeah, I'm talking about the Chiffon while filming Clary. I have a marker in my hand. I'm about to write on the cup here, because I gotta change the name. I had a name too, and I can't remember what the name was. Oh, that's so retarded. If I can't remember, my rule of thumb is, if I can't remember the name, then it's not the right name for my animal. If I can remember the name that I picked for my animal, then it's definitely the right name for my animal. So if I decide to try to remember what its name is, after knowing every single one of my animals' names by heart, then it's not the right name for it. So I'm trying to think of a good name for it. Since Trinidad Chiffons, they're really beautiful tarantulas. Even the pattern on their butt is pretty cool. They're actually similar to the Aquarius keep splashing all over the place. I keep having to put a towel there because they keep jumping up and splashing water. Anyways, the Trinidad Chiffon, their patterns on their butts kind of remind me of the pumpkin patch. They just don't have the same coloring of the pumpkin patch. The coloring is obviously a lot different. The pumpkin patch is a different coloring. Always with the interruptions, I got a package from B&B, Bath & Body Works. I hit up their big summer sale. I couldn't help myself. Not bad. I actually did pretty good for their sale. I actually got 43 items, and I only paid $120, which is actually pretty good because most items I got were for like $3.62. Anyways, back to what I was saying about the Trinidad Chiffon. Trinidad Chiffon are pretty cool because they are similar to the pumpkin patches, and I only got one of them, so I actually got another one. But I'm trying to think of a good name for it. Sunfire was really a cute name too, but that's gonna be saved for another pumpkin. If I can find another pumpkin patch, then I was thinking about calling it Sunrise. It's not Sunfire, because I don't want to do the same name. But I was thinking about Sunrise. I think that would be a cool name for a pumpkin patch. Since I already used the name Pumpkin on my aviculator up there. We gotta think of a name, guys. I don't know. I actually had a name picked out. Now I can't freaking remember. But like I said, if I can't remember the name, then the name is not worth it. Let's see how the babes are over here today. Maybe I could think of names as I'm looking at these guys. That's how I always end up picking names. I end up coming up with a really, really good name when I'm staring at my other species. I'm still brokenhearted. Unfortunately, it's very hard with slings. Slings can be very touchy when you get them. Especially when you get them and they're being shipped from the Holy Cross. Because that came the way from California, so. So cute, there's Sky. There's my GBB. My GBB is doing so beautiful. I love how big these guys are getting. I'm definitely thinking about getting another GBB and more Antilles. Because the Antilles are doing beautiful too. But unfortunately, my Trinidad Pink is a burrower. Never see them. But it's okay. Sana is really cute. I did check up on Sana. Their burrow is right in the front here because I did mess around with them. And they redid their burrow because I invaded their space because I wanted to make sure they were okay. And they're doing beautiful. I moistened their pods last night. Their little pods were starting to get a little too dry. And it was like 90-some degrees yesterday. So I had to make sure they were all moist. I got all the little fruit flies in its web. I put a cricket in for a jade, and I actually found one tiny enough for Sky and Sana, and for my little buddy up here. Here, we'll move Salem out of the way. Beautiful, beautiful GBB. I wish they would seriously stay those colors when they got bigger, but their pattern on them is so beautiful. Look at that butt. So cute. Close up of a GBB's butt. Look at those legs. Beautiful, beautiful yellow. They're really cute. They're really interesting at night. At night, like, the GBB would be, like, all over the place. And then these two, like, chase after each other. If I have them next to each other, you'll see these two going around in circles. And then they would be, like, going against their pods. It's so cute. It seems like they're playing with each other. Let's see, Galaxy got its freaking cage all freaking dirty. It was kicking up dirt earlier. And now it's like, I have to wipe it down so I can see in there. But it doesn't matter because Galaxy likes to stay burrowed a lot. Which is typical for a lot of these tarantulas, of course. What should we name our new Trinidad Saffron? We gotta think of a cute name, guys. I'm sure I'll think of something. I was actually looking through my collection. And my collection that I have. I was thinking of neon, but it's not. They're not colorful like that. So then I was thinking of blizzard, but it's the summertime. It's not like it was born during the winter, so that's not gonna work. Stripes, no. I don't know. Actually, I'm stumped on this one. I was actually looking through names through, I was thinking maybe Spike or something. Like, I have my beanie collection going on here. I was actually looking through names through my beanie collection. I was actually thinking of, what was I thinking of? And I was thinking of, some of the names I was thinking of, it's like, just a single sex name, so it's like, cause I was thinking of Gracie, or Lola, or something, but it's like, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so that doesn't help any. So I was like, ugh. I gotta try to find a name that's for a boy and a girl. And see, I was gonna do Spike, but I don't know. Spike's not really a girl's name. So I gotta find something that I might be able to change it if it's one thing instead of the other. I was thinking about like Mango or something, but I don't know. I feel like that's more like of a leopard gecko's name than a tarantula's. I don't know. My vision of a tarantula's name is just different than how everybody else chooses names. Look at my fishies. They're so cute. The Danios are just swimming in the front. There's my black skirted Tetris, hiding in the dark. Oh, there's a damn corridors. That thing, those corridors are getting so big. They're so horrible, though. I wonder if MJ's out climbing around. I think it's interesting how people will sit here and say how one species is either arboreal. We'll come up with a name. I'm sure when I see it tomorrow, I'll film the unboxing. If I remember to. But eventually I will show you guys the baby, of course. I think it's funny how people are like, oh, this species is arboreal, this species is terrestrial, and it's funny how their behavior is not that at all. Because Girlfriend Wednesday here, I can see her finally, she came out. Like I said, she has a big tunnel system through her thing. She is both. She actually likes to climb a lot. And I mean, she loves to climb a lot. Costa Rican, straight knees. For the most part, they are burrowers. They do like to stay in their burrows. But they also like to come out. But she also likes to climb a lot. And I mean, she loves to climb a lot. Now, it's funny how the Vicuvicularias are supposed to be arboreal. For the most part. But my one arboreal, Pumpkin, the reason why we don't ever see her up here anymore on her cage like she was in the beginning when she was smaller, she's actually on the ground a lot. She's behind her cork bark at the bottom. And this is where she likes to stay at all times. Now, sometimes she will be in the back like the way Raven is. You see how Raven is? Raven likes to stay in between. Because for the most part, you know, obviously the crickets mostly avoid her and they try to crawl down through underneath, but she eventually catches them. But what I've noticed with Pumpkin is Pumpkin actually likes to stay towards or more on the ground. As for Raven, she is in between, and Ivy and Salem are hidden in their spots. Now, Salem, she likes, or he, I'm not sure yet, I'm still waiting for them to actually molt. They actually like to stay more towards the ground. Ivy, on the other hand, is up on the inner part of the cork bark. Now, Remy likes to stay in their burrow or comes up onto the dry land area. And Coconut, obviously they're in the middle of molt right now, but for the most part, when you do see them, they're just walking around. They actually don't, Coconut actually doesn't burrow like Remy does. Remy has a big burrow, underground burrow system, just like Wednesday has, but with Coconut just has just the inner tunnel inside the cork bark log, and that's it. They really don't care for actually having a tunnel system like these two. And it's funny how people sit there and be like, oh, well, this species is this way, this species is this way. I don't think that's totally, in a way it's true about that species, but in a way it's not, because I think each individual spider has their own unique way of how they like to be, and they have their own personality of how they like to act, because they don't always act the way people say they're supposed to quote unquote be. Just like I said with Wednesday and MJ, what I've noticed about the Mexican redknees growing up, people say how these guys are terrestrial. For the most part, yes. But MJ and my older one that I had for the longest time, Jed, they actually climb a lot. I will see MJ a lot of times. Not right now, because MJ is actually, I can't see because I have a glare. MJ is actually down inside their hole, which they're gonna be. because it's still light outside, so you're not going to really see them out quite yet. They are in there, as you can see. They just got done molting, but at night, half the time, I stuck a stick and stuff in here for a reason so MJ wouldn't fall. But MJ actually climbs up here, and they will sit up in here all day long. They just love the airflow, and they just love being actually up high, which is pretty unique because some Mexican redknees I see just wandering around their cages, and then there's a lot I actually see that like to act like they're arboreal when they're not supposed to be arboreal. But how can we really categorize our species or what people think they are when their own behaviors show differently? And I just think that's a type of conversation that really people don't talk about mostly in the reptile community or like in the tarantula world, because they try to tell you, oh, this species is that way, this species is that way, when really they're actually the way they want to be. They choose how they feel like being. What are you doing? It got a cricket and it's hanging upside down. That is my Texas tan tarantula. That's Night Fury. Night Fury is so weird. That's why I named Night Fury Night Fury. Because How to Train Your Dragon, Lone Toothless, which is a Night Fury dragon, is such a weird, unique little dragon, and my tarantula is a unique little Texas tan because it doesn't know what to decide what it wants to do half the time. Because I guess, see, just take the Texas tans for an instant. Night Fury never burrows, and I mean never burrows. You will never see Night Fury in a burrow. Oh, there they are. Okay, I wasn't sure where their burrow was. Now, on the other hand, Winter is constantly in their burrow. They burrow all day long. They're always in their burrow. They will come out when it wants to eat or when it comes up for, like, whatever. But other than that, Winter is always right here. Or I will see them starting, like, their tunnels through the side. They dig and they climb around. They act fossorial, actually. If I actually put more dirt in here, which you're going to see because these two are being upgraded into bigger critter carriers, you're going to see the more dirt I add, the digger farther down that one digs. Because I have noticed when it was in the sling pots, it would dig the whole way to the bottom. So as you see, Night Fury, on the other hand, does not burrow. Which is weird, because they normally say Texas tans, which are terrestrials, but they also try to say they're burrowers. But for some reason, and this one has more dirt piled up in here than this one. Which I think is funny, because I probably should have gave Winter more dirt, because Winter actually burrows and digs down more. But unfortunately, I stuck the wrong amount of dirt. I'm going to add more dirt in there. Well, I was going to, but I decided I'm just going to get bigger enclosures and upgrade them, because these two are definitely getting bigger, especially Night Fury. Night Fury definitely has to be upgraded to a bigger critter carrier. But as you see, the two difference between the same species. One is fossorial, basically, because that's how it's acting fossorial. And the other one is acting straight terrestrial, does not burrow. Does not burrow at all. And yet, they are from the same clutch. Well, I can't say clutch because they're not snakes, but they're from the same egg sac. They are from the same egg sac, the person I got them from. Yeah, they came from the same sac. As you see, one's definitely growing faster than the other one. And Night Fury is just a weirdo, but Night Fury is obviously more terrestrial and / arboreal, because half the time Night Fury we will see all over the place. So I consider them as both, but they're mostly terrestrial. But its little brother-sister, Winter, is just a burrower. That's all they do, is they burrow. Which, what I read about the Texas tan tarantulas is they're supposed to be burrowers. They normally live in, obviously, the Texas area and out in western areas. not just Texas, they live in so many different regions out in the West. But they are supposed to be burrowers, and yet my tarantula chooses not to be. So I think what we really need to do is categorize our tarantulas. For the most part, I would tell people when you do sell them to somebody, be like, yes, they are technically this type of way, but in all reality, you don't know how your tarantula might end up being, because for all you know, your tarantula could be terrestrial but acts arboreal, or be terrestrial and acts fossorial, or they can act both ways, which I think is really fascinating when it comes to these guys. Same with animal behavior, like what I've noticed with a lot of my reptiles. I've heard people say a lot of things about some of these guys, but yet they act so different. Their personalities for each and every one of these animals are so unique. They're their own personal animal. Yeah, you can get the basic gist and tell the person about that species, but in all reality, it's just like with the reptiles remind me like cats and dogs. They all have their own personalities, and just because they're like a smaller reptile doesn't mean they don't have their own personality, because trust me, they do. Ming Ming can act like a little goofball, and she can be certain ways at times, or she can, like, during the day, she could be like the laziest one and sit there and dig burrows through her cage and knock over her water dish and make a ruckus. Or some days she can be relaxed, while Dream, on the other hand, is just my one that just sits there and chills. He's chilled, he's laid back, he's not like some of the girls who act dramatic. He's like, I'm surrounded by girls, so I'm just gonna be the one that behaves. While the bigger ones, Leona and Daenerys, Leona, she'll sit there and hide in her cave most of the time, or she'll climb up like she is right now on top of her plants and stuff, while Daenerys will sit here and try to get out of her cage 50% of the time by climbing up her log. And as you see, she loves being in her fake plants. She loves being in her plants, and Leona loves her plants. While Daenerys, on the other hand, likes to dig holes. As you see, she's leaning down because she digged another pit. Because 10 to 1, she'll end up knocking over her water dish, and then she will lay in the water in the muddy pit. And then I have to end up cleaning her because she ends up becoming such a big mess. And she just makes a mess everywhere. And I swear she does it on purpose to get out of her cage. They're not dumb guys. These guys are very smart. All reptiles are smart, but these guys, after a while, they will figure out a way to get out of their cages. Because mine, they do certain things like, oh, if I do this over and over, Mom has to take me out. And trust me, some of them have picked up on that very quickly. Daenerys and Ming Ming and Rain, those three, make huge messes of their cages. And they know it drives Mommy nuts. So what do? They make a big mess all night long until it drives me nuts. And I will do it, and I don't care what time it is. Maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I will tear apart their cages, cleaning and fixing their cages. And guess what? They get to run around on my bed. And I watch them, of course, very closely, because I'm right next to them anyways, cleaning their cages. And they're just running around the bed having a grand time. So they do this stuff on purpose every night. Part of the reason why I don't sleep right. I'm working 24/7. During the day, I'm doing one thing. And then at night, I gotta deal with these guys making total messes. Even though I clean their cages all day long, I still have to end up redoing their cages at night. But they know it. They don't care. Right, Dee Dee? Daenerys! What are you doing? Are you ignoring me? Her eyes were closed. She just opened her eyes back up. Arisa, are you falling asleep right there, you weirdo? What are you doing? Daenerys! She's like, oh, it's Mom. Are you plotting to do something bad again? Every time I start seeing her dig holes in her cage, then I know she is totally up to something. She's bad. Watch, come tonight, she will be out running around my bed. One of these times I gotta find a way to go actually out and get a tripod or something so I can film what they do when I have to clean their cages at night, because these guys are something else. They're so cute though. Going back to your watering hole. They're so cute though. I fed them all last night. I have a delivery coming tomorrow. Besides the chevron, they're getting a bunch of crickets. So, let's see about this side. The only reason oh, he's starting to come up, big girl. I didn't mean to spook you. She actually just got done shedding. I actually watered down her cage really, really good. My Tokay Gecko, Morticia. She's about to climb up, because it's that time of night and she knows it. She popped her head back down because she saw me. Hi, Morticia. Aren't you done, Tish? Are you better now? I saw her shedding, so I sprayed her real good. Help her get some of that shed off. Because today was a really, really dry day. Another really dry day before the storm started to hit. Because unfortunately, we haven't had any days that have been humid. We've had like hardly any humid days. It's all been just hot, dry air. Some of my animals love it, but some of the other ones, it's not good for them. I've been having to spray and mist some of the cages a lot more since we've been having this dry air, because some of these guys need some of that moisture and humidity. That's why I said some guys, like the babies over there, they like the dryness, but they also like half of their cage moist, because with elegant geckos, aka sand geckos, or aka also Egyptian sand geckos, they have several different names for those babies, but they actually like half dry and actually half moist. During the day, they like to bask up on their rock right there, and they like it dry during the day. And then once they start to get to a certain body temperature, they will actually go into their little forest that I created with dirt, and I have a potho plant in there, and I actually built a little cave with these little flat rocks. I used slate rocks and a fake plant, and they sit there and they burrow into their little cave area, and I spray it, and they just love it. They just love it. After basking in the hot sun all morning and afternoon, they'll be over there, and then at night they'll start playing in their sand, because they do burrow a lot in their sand. So those guys go back and forth between dry and moist, but you can't have their humidity too high. That's not good for them. But some of these guys actually like some humidity. Right, Beebs? So cute. Precious is so adorable. She's such a cute little thing. I already fed you, Pookies. She keeps squashing her plant. I feel bad for that plant. It's actually doing a lot better since I took it out of Jace's cage, because that was in Jace's cage. But it was growing way too tall. It was actually starting to push the screen up, which I can't have, because I can't have, of course, my golden gecko running around, because I have a golden gecko in here, and I have a forest setting for them. I put a pothos plant in there, and that pothos plant is actually doing really, really good. So I can't wait for it to vine up through the cage, which I'm really, really excited about. So that's why it kind of doesn't look like as jungly as it was looking, but it's going to, because I'm actually going to add another plant. I'm actually planning to put a plant in the middle and have it vine up through. So that's going to be worked on. But she has her little jungle in here. Don't you, precious? So cute. Same with Clary. Clary's plant's doing pretty good too, because it's starting to intertwine with the fake one, and it's spread the whole way through her cage. But she has a nice tall cage. She really likes these freaking candles. She will sit here all night until I blow the candle out, and she would just stare at this candle. Now, if I threw food in there, she'd go after her food. But after she's done eating, it's funny, because she will come right back to this candle. Well, I have several different candles. I have a whole collection of candles down here. So, she just loves the candles. I'm hoping to catch Bella later. So, we'll see if Bella comes out later. so I could talk more about her. She's my African banded toe gecko. Like I said before, they are a very rare species to own. She was actually a rescue that the pet store that is near my house actually got in, and the one girl actually saved her for me because she knows I like to collect rare species of geckos, or just get, different fascinating animals that not that many people have, because the African banded toe gecko is not like the eastern banded toe or the western banded toe gecko. They are actually from Africa, and they are very rare. They're only from the northern part of Africa, and there's only 20,000 of them left, and they're only in the one specific part of Africa, and just the one part, the north part of Africa, and there's actually not that many of them left. So it's really cool. I was actually able to get her. At first I thought she was a Chinese cave gecko because they do look similar, they really do, but I found out that she is actually an African banded toe gecko, and there's not that much information online about them. And what I've noticed about these guys is they do like to burrow. She likes to hide in her den during the day, and she does come out at night, but she only comes out if nobody's around. She's very, very shy. They're a very, very shy gecko. When she sees me, or she sees or hears certain things, she will run back into her area. But if she thinks I'm sleeping or not paying attention to her, if she knows I'm up, but if I'm not looking at her, or if I'm sitting still long enough, she will come out, and of course she will walk across the top of the screen, and she will run around her cage. Now, I actually don't see her hunt. I have never seen her hunt. A lot of times she will actually wait until they go into her den, and she will hunt in there. She actually does not come out and hunt that much, not like normal other geckos. So they are a very, very shy, timid gecko from what I've studied so far about this species. So if anybody really wants to learn about the African banded toe geckos, let me know in the comments and stuff, and I will definitely make more videos about her, because like I said, there's like no information online about this species. When I asked about information for her, they said they had none because there's really no information about these geckos, because they're very hard to find. They're very rare to have in the reptile community, and I actually have her, so I'm very lucky, and I take very, very precaution to make sure nothing happens to her, because she is very rare gecko to own. So I am very anal about the way she's taken care of. So she is definitely one of my pride and joys. All my animals are my pride and joys, but she is very special because she is a very rare gecko to have. So like I said, I actually got pretty lucky with her. I actually don't know anybody else that actually has an African banded toe gecko. If anybody else has one, let me know, because that'd be pretty cool. And I'd like to know if anyone else does have one, what is their African banded toe geckos like, because mine is very timid and shy. But she's very beautiful. She's a very beautiful gecko. She has a black and yellow stripes. She's very pretty. Like I said, she resembles the Chinese cave gecko, but she is just very shy gecko. I'm hoping her house entry is okay, because from what I read, there's no information on their house entry either. So I try to guess as much as I can with trying to keep her temperatures properly and stuff. I try to match it up to other geckos and lizard species that are from North Africa. So I'm trying to keep it that way. I have a forest type setting, a woods type setting. I have the Eagle Earth. I have a live plant in here. I have live plants in all the cages. I have a fake one in the back. I'm gonna put a real one in there, but like I said, I have to watch how much I do in her cage. I clean it, of course, and I give her fresh water, but I be careful how much I dig around her cage because I don't want to spook her too much. She is, like I said, is very, very shy, timid gecko, so yeah. I'm hoping she comes back out. Lately, she's been coming out more lately. And I think the more she comes out lately around those times is after she sheds, is what I've noticed. Because she's a lot darker, blacker. She looks a lot more vibrant. So I assume it's right after she sheds. She really likes to come out more. But like I said, I don't ever see her hunting. I've never seen her eat. Except for obviously all the crickets disappear. So I know she's eating because she's nice and fat. She's doing beautifully. So even though like on her pictures she looks skinny because she can thin herself out. What I've noticed about them, they can flatten and thin themselves out, but most geckos do that anyways. But when she's nice and relaxed, you can actually see she actually has a little belly on her. So I do gotta watch how much I do feed some of these guys because some of them are getting pretty chunky. Right, girlfriend? Like Clary here. She's my little fatsy. She's like, you're messing up my candle memorization. She's a funny gecko. She's my Harley Quinn. She's all fired up right now. She looks so pretty. I chased her away. She'll come back around. I interrupted her candle session. I'm waiting for Tish to come out. But Tish is still just sitting right there. She'll be out eventually. It's not dark enough yet for her. I'll turn off some of these lights. Hopefully these guys will pop up later on. I'll turn the camera back on. Well, turn the camera on my film. But anyways, yeah, that's just my little information, my 50-minute filming of what I think about some of these species and how their nighttime behaviors are. I'll keep doing more footages and films and documentaries on a lot of their nighttime behaviors of these animals. A lot of them are very, very unique and interesting at night. These guys can get pretty crazy, I think, the way some of these guys can act. Look how pretty she is. I love the crested geckos. They fire up so beautifully at night. Like, their colorings are out of this world. And Precious, just, her colors, especially with the purple lighting. Her in the purple lighting, because that's why her cage is like purplish, obviously. She looks just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, she's my flamed crested gecko. She gets really playful at night, too. A lot of times I do bring the crested geckos and leopard geckos out on the bed. That's why a lot of times you see certain ones, like her or Ming Ming or Denary, they will definitely come towards the top of the cage because they know mommy will bring them out to play. But I have a package I have to go open. Obviously, that's just got delivered. So I'm going to go see what's in that package because I actually have a couple packages coming from Bath & Body Works. And then I will probably see you guys later on since it's still early in the night. So I will catch up with you guys in a little bit.